Okay, so this is my assignment, Twyla Tharpe's creative autobiography. I'm going to answer the question for the assignment. And if you hear any noise in the background, just try to avoid it. My house is not that quiet these days. So my first creative moment that I don't remember many, honestly. Um, my first creative moment, I think, would be like, like how you used to make little sock buns for your hair. I used to cut up all the socks, not for buns, but like to make clothes for my dolls. So like I would make like two-piece sets. I would do like jumpsuits, dresses. I try to do shoes, headbands, all with socks. So like when I was younger, I only sock they didn't really cut up was like I try not to cut up too much of my school socks. So that was the one good thing about that. And to answer question two, if anybody was there to witness it, yeah. My mom and my sisters all the time because I used to get row a lot for cutting up everybody's socks inside the house. So the best idea I ever had was my learning center. So I said this in class, like, um, set it up. My assignment was to create a learning center that was creative, interactive, child friendly, blah, 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 blah. And literally ticked all of the boxes that it needed to be and more because it was like, it had the longevity. It could, it's versatile. It could go from grade 1 straight to grade 6 without a problem. Any body function you want, it was there. And I'll just at the time, obviously, because you have to assess students and all that stuff, you don't want to create assignments ahead of time. So like when I reached there, you just have to create the assignments to go with the body, but um it was really it was really really good. And then I think the year after that, because um this is before I switched my major. So like at one point in time, I wasn't doing good in education. I think after I came back from my second break I took. After I came back from that second break, I did a class with the same lecturer, and she was talking about learning centers, and she brought up my learning center. Honestly, she didn't know who it was. She said she had it inside her classroom, inside her office, and everything. She asked, she brought it out for my class to see it, and I was like, I'm proud. I didn't say anything, but just seeing it there and her talking about it and showing other people about like the example of students things students do, it really made me proud of myself. Would make it great in my mind. Like it's just the versatility of it. Like, and the rest of my classes, I don't think anyone else made anything like that. Like their one was really good, but yeah, I think mine just like really really stood out to me. So in my head, and because she brought it back to show everybody else, kind of like, a brag, like this is the way it should be done. Just really blew my mind. Okay, so it's the dumbest idea I ever had. Let these niggas take me for idiot. Just joking. Even though it is true, it's not the dumbest idea. Dumbest idea I ever had was, ooh, um, when I think I slipped between kind of two. When I was 5, like I was a mommy's girl. Like I was a people's pleaser from that. I wanted to make my parents happy and all that stuff. So whatever mommy would say do, within reason, I did. So like me and my sister, my older sister, just Stevie, we shared a room basically most of my life, most of my younger years. I think even yeah, most of my life, and like the room was always dirty from me and her, but mostly from her. And like every time it wouldn't clean, like mommy would punish us. So it wasn't always beating was the last resort. So it was like taking things away, like the TV and all stuff, because we used to like to watch TV, or taking away. Well, we ain't really had no phone like that, like cell phone, so it wasn't that to take away. So it was just little small stuff. Especially the TV was really important to me and my sister. And I was 5, so my mom was like, you know, since you don't do what I say, basically to my sister, I think and to me probably too. I don't really know. I missed that part out. Like the part kind of skipped my interpretation of what happened. Um, and she was like, "Oh no, go take the TV out your room." Like my sister didn't want to do it. So I'm just one of these like big block TVs, and like really really big, and it was on like a tall shelf. And I was like, okay, mommy, I could take it out. Since she don't want to take it out, I could do it. What I do that for? I gone right there, take it out, and the TV just dropped right on my head. And like I wasn't really crying like that. Like I was like shocked. It's like, and like it left a big dent inside of the TV, and like we were not able to use the TV at all anymore, ever again. It could not be fixed. It's like, wow. I thought these TVs were indestructible. I guess I was wrong. But between that one and when I was in grade six, we were in class, and like we were in like our groups. So like we had groups in class or whatever. And like my class right there, my group, smartest group in the class, honestly, like to top of the class. It was four girls, to top of the class. We were always in rival with the four boys that were top of the class, like that sort of thing. But like we were sitting there doing work, I think, and my teacher, like we were right by his desk because I was like the VIP area. Like he used to do special stuff like that, and we he had breakfast and I think he didn't eat his breakfast, so he asked us if one else want to eat it, right? So he's like, yeah, we want to eat it. Well, obviously we didn't get cold breakfast. It's from Wendy's, and he's like, it was this time when Wendy's had those like metal wrappers. So we were like, but we wasn't too sure if it was metal or was it plastic. Just looked like metal, so we were not sure at all. So like, and then I, being the dummy, gone and put it in the microwave and almost blow up. Well, it catch fire in the microwave. I feel as though the moment it like, I feel like it was gonna blow up the classroom, blow up the building, blow up the block. Because it was like, it was grade sixes and fives there, and like I think a computer class upstairs, like on that one block. I was gonna blow up everything and kill everybody. That's how it was in my head. Like, damn, Steph, like you lucky only this happened. um, yeah. But what made them stupid is because, first of all, how I think I was supposed to go be lifting. I had a lot of confidence, obviously. Like where I was going lifting that big TV. How so? And like the microwave situation, like I literally asked everybody, well, who's on my table, because it was like quiet, you had to be quiet. Who's on my table, and it's like none of us could figure out what it was. None of us. It's all us. They like it made us stupid because what could have happened if it didn't, like if it did do something big, like big. Uh, um, can I connect the dots in my head? Yeah, I think I can connect the dots in both situations. But I think both situations derive from me, like I guess like my own like confidence and me wanting to do something for someone, like so like being a people pleaser almost. So like in the first instance with the TV, it was me wanting to please my mom, make my mommy happy. Whatever she say do, I will do. And in the second instance, it was like obviously me and friends at the table, and you had this like you inside primary school. I don't know if you've ever felt it, but like you had girls around you that were smart and pretty, that you feel as though were kind of prettier than you. Like at the time, obviously, like they had like the pretty hair, was long, good facial features, all that stuff. Like one was tall, like it was like a real like dynamic. So like yeah, we were friends, and I had my own set of confidence, and I thought I was pretty too. But I just thought, okay, yeah, they are like they are prettier than I am, and I guess there was that need to like, well, like I gotta do this, because besides my confidence, for me to do it, for me to be the one to try it out, I wanted their approval as well. Okay, so my creative ambition. This was a very tough question for me to think about, like putting the words together. Because ambition is basically just like your drive or your desire to achieve something. And creativity is the way you use your imagination, your ideas to create something, put something together. So I figured that I think my creative talent would be like achieving full understanding of my talents, of my creative talents, if that makes any sense. Like I want to be able to fully explore myself and my talents and my creativity, like across different art forms, and figure out how far it extends, um and then like a part of it, being with being able to achieve full understanding of my talents, of my of my creativity. um I want to share what I have learned and what I have done, and help others, help them on their journey of understanding as well. All right, so my obstacle to this ambition is myself. You know, whether it be my fear, my self doubt, all of that together um, would stop me from pursuing full understanding. The vital steps in achieving this ambition would be overcoming my fear and my self doubt, definitely. Stop comparing myself to others and take creative risks. So I begin my day when my alarm goes off at 7 o'clock every morning. Whether I turn it off or whether I turn it on is all up to I mean, or like actually wake up is up to me, depending on how I'm feeling. How my day before was, how tired I am. But 7 o'clock every morning, my alarm goes off, and I usually, if I take another hour to sleep, and I wake up around like 8, or I wake up at 7, or I lay there for about 15 minutes just to gather myself, and then I, I do what I need to do after that. Um, Excuse me. Um, yeah. So after that, I wake up. I drink water. I always have water by my bedside in my bottle. Um, I make sure I drink it first thing in the morning. In the morning, warm water, room temperature water. I don't drink cold water at all. Then I would go to the bathroom if I need to, which I normally do. Need to go to the bathroom. Sometimes I go to the bathroom before I drink water. And then I catch up on like the news and stuff. Part of being in my major, you have to stay current and up to date. So I try to, do that regular. I try to keep up to date on the news and things going on in the Bahamas and seemingly around the world. And then, like, I always give myself time to start doing my work. So, like, maybe like the night before or something like that, I'll be like, okay, I'll start my work at around like 9 or 8, 9 or 10, something like that. Like, what I need to do for like classes, or maybe I need to like clean my room, wash my hair. And it all depends on like the structure of my day, how it would be. So, yeah. I mean, I guess that's how I start my day. I don't really do anything else in particular. And like I my habits, I guess the really habit, I don't know, the really habit that I really can say that I have is, waking up at 7 o'clock. And that's not like it actually mostly is consistent. The most consistent habit I have in my life. At this point in time, my alarm from 7 o'clock, my phone from 11 to 7, 8 hours. I think I have my phone like set so like I don't get messages some of the time, so I could like wind down and sleep. That was a new thing I was trying out before, and it goes down at like 10 o'clock. I'd like be in focus mode, so like nothing will be on like do not disturb from 10 o'clock, and I was supposed to like read for the hour before bed, but sometimes I'm not able to do that, and I guess because it happened more often than it did happen, and I wasn't. Um, I just say, what, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next. I keep putting it off, and I guess it never really became a habit. So I guess that's something something I would like to change. Um, what else do I do? I talk to my boyfriend every night before bed. We do a video call. You know, we usually speak, throughout the day regardless. But, if we haven't seen each other there or anything like that, just to see each other, catch up on anything that had happened, or, something that you need to talk about right before bed. And then whether it be his bedtime or my bedtime, we call each other before that, and then go to sleep. That is very consistent as well. I developed that when he was off to school in Jamaica. So that was our like nightly catch up. So I guess it kind of drove over till when he came back home. So in describing my first successful creative act, I was at a loss of discussion, honestly. So the first thing that came to me would be in grade, I don't know, grade it was at 9, 10, somewhere along there. We learned about the senses. So we learned about the tongue, and I created this model tongue. Like everyone else just drew it on a piece of paper and all that stuff. I was like, nah, I'm gonna be different. So I think my boyfriend at the time, like he did art and stuff. So I had him help me with it. So obviously, like the wide structure underneath, and putting it together. I used clay for the outside to give it that, that look of the tongue, like pink clay, and mix it with a little bit of black and blue. Try to give it that real like color of the tongue. And I did like the different other colors for the, like bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. Yeah, buttersweet, sour, and salty. I did the different colors on the tongue for that, and like it was able to stand up on its own. I feel as though that was top tier. um, that was successful. My teacher, like, she really loved it. She loved it. And and then in order to like create the texture, I got like the fork and I made like holes in it to get that little texture in the tongue. It's like, yeah, proud of myself there. My second successful creative act that I can remember, because my memory is not so good, would be, I guess, like looking back now, I didn't realize this was something. I would say, like, taking photos. And like I would always travel with my camera on me, my little digital camera or anything. Like I didn't think it was like a hobby or anything. I know I was interested in doing it and I liked doing it, but I didn't realize, like what it meant. Um, and going back through my photos, like recently, to clean up my hard drive and stuff, I found that I took photos not just of obviously the people around me that I love, but like just moments, obviously moments in time. So the photograph is. I took pictures of trees, cars passing by, people on the side of the road, like anything that I felt, like I needed to capture, I captured. And I think that was a successful creative act for me. And looking back, in comparing them, like I guess with the first one, the tongue, I had help. The second one, I guess I figured out on my own. Something I like to do, and I did it. It was I never owned a camera from myself, but it was my sister Stevie's camera that I used to carry everywhere with me. Um, I guess you could say also that they both explore like different parts of my creativity, like different parts of my creativity. Like art, doing something, making something physical with my hands, and then photographs is what I see. Capturing things I see, and I don't know. I feel as though kind of like both sides of them kind of like died over time. I did not hone or try to develop my skills in these things because I thought they were just, like frivolous. Like they weren't that important, right? I guess most, I didn't grow up dancing or anything. I didn't grow up basically like art in my house. I had art in school, but like not really art in my house. Like we didn't. live like that, so I don't really take the importance of it. Um, so like doing those things, I didn't realize, what I was doing or like what it meant for me. So I guess I up both of those things. Money is the root of all evil. No, no, my bad. Let me correct that. The love of money is the root of all evil. Remember that. um, but besides that, um, by itself, money is just a currency. I feel as though, society gave money power when it decided that, it can be used as to separate people. That's how I feel. Because before, like, obviously we've learned, Africa and stuff, they don't use money. They traded cattle, you know, people. I mean, not like people as so, but like, like a daughter here to say, marry your son, stuff like that. Traded spices, food, you know, like those sort of things. So money like developed as a way to he set people back, obviously, because other people did not have money. Um, and power. I believe that anyone can have power. Um, power, like, is this concept that like anyone can give something that power. Anyone can give something power. Whether it be yourself or a thing, like in money, like people gave money power. It didn't have it, and it wouldn't the hold or power that money has wouldn't exist without us. So like money power is like a state of mind, basically. um I also believe that power is like confidence. Power is, in that terms, like it's more inside out and not outside in. So it's not like a position. I mean, even though it is, I guess a type of power. um the power that I'm talking about is like it's not a position. It's not a title that you hold. It's something inside of you. um it's a feeling. Yeah, it's a feeling. Power can also be influence. The influence you have on somebody or something, you have that power to manipulate or to inspire. um it's a full range of things power can do. Praise. Ooh, I have a very unhealthy relationship with praise. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. um and I think with praise, it's more so towards authoritative figures. um I feel as though that's how they raised me. You get praise from your teacher, you get praise from that one, and he was doing something right. If you get praise, right? Now you're doing something right if you're getting this praise. Um, and oh, I guess that stemmed from my daddy issues. Side note, yes, I has daddy issues. Like I feel good when I'm praised, obviously, and if I'm not, I'm determined to do better so that I would get that praise. Um, I know what I don't do much of? Praise myself, which I probably need to start doing as well. You Rivals. I'm not a very competitive person at all. So I guess in a way I really don't believe in rivals, but I know they do exist for other people. But basically just out of, jealousy or, wanting something that someone else has. Or, like, you feel as though you're lacking something, which I guess is, it's all stems back into jealousy. Um, I, if I, see, I don't really have any rivals because I say like, if something has something that I feel as though like I want or I wish I had, I would either, learn from them, ask them like how they do that or anything like that, or I would, figure it on my own. Like, how do I do this? How do I get as good as this person or even better than this person? Um, or, just if it's something that I know that I honestly am not impossible for me to do, I'd be like, babe, that person's solid. Like, they good. Like, I'm gonna praise them for that because that's something that they do well, and I'm not putting myself down by putting them up. So yeah, that's my rivals. It's a no for me. Work too hard. You'll get burnout. Work hard, work smart, I guess. I also believe in not letting work take over your life, not letting it control you, you know, and consume your time. I have not really found a full balance there as yet. But I hope to. I hope to. Just because, like, you need to work in order to make money, and you need money in order to, just half the time afford basic necessities or even do something for yourself a lot of the time. You would, no matter how small it may be. And I find myself working and then overworking to get this money, and then most of the time I'm still not able to do what I want to do. And that's what, like, COVID has showed me, basically, when I wasn't working at all. And it was so many things that I wish I had done that I didn't get to do because I was so consumed. Well, I have to work, and they depend on me. I have to be here. I work every week because I'm a contracted worker. And so that's on the weekends. So even if I could take one little weekend trip, I didn't because I was working. Something's fun with friends. Well, I work and I can't come. You know, so it was something I learned. Not to let work, to find that work-life balance and not let work consume you. And that's something that I said I would change this year, definitely. Like, that's at the top of my list now that I'm back to work. And then play. I feel like play can help foster imagination, help critical thinking. Um, I think it also helps with overall well being, because it involves something fun. Fun, most time kind of may involve like laughter or, maybe a deeper joy, something that's there. So, yeah, you gotta find that work play balance. So, I stand Beyonce. From I was small, she was my favorite. So besides Beyonce, there would be J. Cole. There would be like Issa Rae, Taraji P Henson, um, Deval and Kadeen Ellis. Like, who else? And also, like, besides those, like, I feel as though I admire um, different people for different reasons. And like, there's sort of like a memorable a quality inside different people that I like. You know, so like besides these people here, um, a lot of people have that different thing that I uh, you know that I admire. Um, yeah. So I guess they are, and answer the next question. They are my role models. Um, because as I like they said before, like they have qualities and within them, like Beyonce, like she works extremely hard to achieve what she's done. She's built an empire. She has a family. Like, um, I love her musical creativity. Like each album, I feel is something different, like a different side of her that we get to see, and that's something that like let's like exploring and understanding my creativity and all I can do. I feel as though she's doing that, and she's done that, and she's not done because there's no timeline to it. Um, like J. Cole, like just I admire him for staying true to himself, in the midst of all the press, the fame, just staying true to himself, not changing. not like changing, but you're obviously getting better, and that's change. But like not switching up. You see where she come from. Like, she first got like her video her equipment to do like movies and stuff, and it got stolen, and then she had to build everything back up, and like where she is now, a love insecure, love awkward black girl, and her developing more things, and look forward to a lot of stuff, because obviously what she did and what she stand for is not the typical thing that you would see um, from the black community, or anyone. I'm talking about the black community, based on the shows, and those type of things. We didn't talk about a lot of things that she stands for, that comes with her. Cardi B, Cardi. um she just being herself, honestly. Like, she stands up for herself, and she's not afraid to put herself out there. That's the confidence level that I admire. um Taraji, her determination, honestly, her range. um like, recently she was in the play Honey, um and like, that's Taraji, no way. She's exploring herself and her talents, and I couldn't be, excited to see Kadeen and Deval. um I love them because they opened their marriage and their home for us, and it's like, and I listen to their podcast too, like Dead Ass, it's called. Their podcast too. Just the topics they talk about. They talk about just millennial marriages, um, and then obviously millennial marriages with kids. I know they let us into their home, and I admire them. I admire their the topics that they talk about. What they're open about, what they do in their own home, what they enforce, things that they're about. Them telling their story and they're sharing their story with us. I I look up to them. My role models and I have in common that we are all trying to figure out this thing called a life. Obviously, they're older than I am, so they've had a bit more experience in dealing with, this life thing. Um, an adult thing. But no one has all of the answers, so they still trying to figure it out just like me. And figure out their creative processes as well, because you know they keep you see the diversity in the things that they do and stuff, so they're trying to piece things together as they go as well. I am regularly inspired by my mom and my boyfriend. Like, my mom has that drive, that will, like, she's positive, she's a positive person. She will go to the ends of the earth for you and do, what she can for you. And I guess I feel as though it's kind of like a flaw as well. I see, in a way, because sometimes you let people take advantage of you, and I see a lot of myself in her. So things that I see her do that I'm not, too fond of, I try, I tell her about it. I try to correct it in myself, but she definitely inspires me to keep on going and keep pushing. My boyfriend, I think I met him when I was at a crossroads, kind of like, should I go back to school? What can I do? Well, I was going back actually, but that fell through away, and just trying to figure out like what's the next step, and just keep pushing me and pushing me and pushing me to make sure I do my work, I complete my assignments. He inspires me because he does it himself. Like, he's he graduated, he worked with his education degree in biology. He worked as a teacher, then he went and did his master's in forensics, finished his master's, and now he heading to his PhD. Is like his determination, Jesus, is like out of this world. And you kind of like, that's why you have to have like people around you that are going to push you, and he really pushes me to be my best and to do my best. And you know That's why he regularly inspires me just by watching him and doing what he does. Like I'd be like, I can't, I can't faulty up. I had to be like, like obviously there's room for failure and some sadness and stuff that you may not achieve and all that stuff. But it's the way you pick yourself up, and get back on the horse and figure out your next steps. So simply put, my muse is everyone and everything around me. I have no one particular muse because anything can inspire me. Just looking at something can inspire me. A muse would be like a person or a thing that inspires you, helps you to do or to be your best self. So, that's the whole point of role models and, my people that inspire me. Um, I can be inspired by architecture. I can be inspired by, wildlife. So it can be anything, honestly. I can be, inspired by the way something is built, the car, how the car looks. um, it really doesn't matter. There's no one set muse in my life. I listen. I ask questions. I learn. Um, yeah. Depending on what the subject matter is, I do my own research and try and figure out for myself, um, you know, what, to understand sometimes, because sometimes people with a higher vocabulary, sometimes than they, you don't always understand exactly what they're saying all the time, or you don't, because you're not, well versed in a certain topic. You don't know certain terms and stuff, so you like have to go into your own research to understand exactly what someone was talking about. Because not everyone knows how to explain what they mean all the time. So sometimes you're gonna have to be there, at a loss. But you know, superior intelligence or talents, I sit there and I watch, I observe, I listen, I ask questions. Um, Yeah, because it may be superior, but it's not something that I can't achieve, and that I can't reach. So when faced with that, boy, it's very annoying. But I have a lot of patience. Like that's one quality about myself that I think I like is that I have patience, and I can deal with people. Um, so I try to work with the person at first, and try and see if maybe some of me may rub off, or suggest some things, maybe some things can change. um and then if that doesn't work, a lot of time I could just be like, my hands are tired, I wash my hands in situation because it's gonna stress me out, and I'm too young to be stressed out. um so I then say to myself, I can't help everyone, or I can't help someone or something that doesn't want to be helped. So there's that. Um so I try to, but that doesn't like change what I do. So like even if I feel as though they may be lacking, like I adjust myself and I adapt to where I would take up where they may have fallen off. And a lot of the sense, um yeah, because just because they are not doing their work doesn't mean like my standards of the job, like anything I turn in or anything that I do, um is a representation of me, so it has to be up, to a certain standard. Yeah. I shut down. Impending success outside of failure. Um, with impending success, I try to maintain my, composure. I know I don't want to be too positive and, too to get my hopes up and then, I get let down. So I try and maintain, try and be more level headed. Um, I do accept the small victories. Like, once, what did they say? One small step for man, giant leap for mankind. um, with the threat of failure, um, I honestly try to stay as positive as I can, um, even though like the negative thoughts have come in my head and I've already figured out, okay, well, if this happens, then this is what I'm going to do, or I could possibly do this if this happens, if I fail. And I've already worked out like what's my next step, because I don't want the failure to reach me and then I don't have a plan or something else. So and sometimes I don't really have a plan. Just I fail and I don't really know. Sometimes I don't have a plan. Um, yeah, I try to understand that things happen for a reason. Even though I may not understand what that reason is, I read at that time, I will eventually, hindsight. I definitely love the process more. I think I love the process more than I love the end result. The process, because the process is gonna be filled with, I don't know, it's gonna be filled with like creativity, different like laughter, sometimes fun, hard work. Um, like the steps it takes to get somewhere. I love those steps. Those steps is what really define you and make you, what you are and how it turns out in the end, right? But the end result, and the end result is basically like you've done all of this before, this preparation before, and then like, wow, this is what it is here. Like, whew. Like the end result is like it's like a relief, but it's like an um you admire, like what it took to get there. So that's why the process is um is what I like more. When my reach exceeds my grasp. When I am overwhelmed, you know, by maybe, deadlines, or I've bitten off more than I can chew. I sometimes shut down, and lean on, and try to lean on the people that I trust to help me through it as well. Because um, sometimes, well, if I shut down because I become overwhelmed, I just like, I really don't care, like, about anything after that. I'm just like, it's gonna come, it's gonna go, and, you know, I can do better next time. I'll try again next time. Um, yeah, like that's my way of shutting down. I just don't deal with it. Like I said, I shutting down. I really just don't do it. I just let it go. That's it. Like, another one gone. I don't really have an ideal creative activity. I just like anything that really gets me to use my, my imagination or my creativity, and where I can like visualize stuff. My greatest fear is not finding or figure out my purpose. Like I have an idea of what I think it is, but I'm not too sure. I guess that might be where the self doubt comes in, but yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Um, I don't know, understand this question too well, but I guess it's all based on my interpretation. So, um, I think both of those are likely to happen, you know. sometimes I think the worst and then figure out that, maybe what if I don't ever figure out my purpose? Like, what am I here for? Uh, so that can happen. And my ideal creative activity can happen at any moment. So they are both likely, very, very likely to happen. The answer that I would most like to change is like not having any habits, any like regular habits. Um, and I don't really have, yeah, that's that's definitely something that needs to change. I want to create intentional habits. These days, like on top of my list right now is like stop biting my nails. That's what I stop biting my nails for. But it's like a anxiety thing. Um, yeah, that's it. Yeah. My idea of mastery is like when you achieve like the highest level of knowledge, like superior knowledge, um like the Supreme Sorcerer, Doctor Strange. Well, Sorcerer Supreme, you know but besides that, like use superior knowledge on a particular subject matter or thing. It can also mean that everything is in alignment. Like, okay, let me use an example. Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I used to watch it as a kid, and I binge watched it a while back, recently, but a while back. So like he wasn't able to go into the at first he wasn't able to go into the avatar state at all. You know, he had some things that weren't in alignment, and as he like kind of worked on those things, like he started being able to go into the avatar state, but it wasn't of his control. He would just randomly go into it, from a one emotion or anything like that, or some like anger, like real anger. And when you knew that he has reached the point where he's supposed to be, that master level, that mastery, is when he was able to do it without feeling anger or anything. That he could go into it when he wanted to go into it. He was able to control it. It's that control, and I guess that speaks to like an alignment within yourself. So like your heart, your mind, and your body all has to be one. So yeah, mastery can be alignment. My greatest dream would basically just be me being in a position to give back and to help others, with what I have. So it's my greatest dream. And I guess in a way I have reached that because, I feel as I've already started to do, that sort of thing. But I want to do it more on a large scale, than I am doing it now.
If I could begin to be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love.